sure that we have to thank the oil crisis in the early 1970s for the creation of the first Automechanika show in 1971. Is this true?
Well, it's funny how things sometimes happen and how things sometimes are developing. So yes, it is actually true, because I mean, what happened is like in Frankfurt, you always had the International Auto Show in Frankfurt for like many years already, and then in 1970s there was a financial crisis with the car companies, and the oil crisis had a big influence on that one. So therefore, last minute, the car companies pulled their engagement in the International Auto Show. However, all the accessory companies and everyone around the automotive companies, they still wanted to have a show. And so therefore, at that stage, Automechanika was born, and it went stronger and better for going from there.
Yes, and from humble beginnings, the Automechanika brand is now huge, with shows across the world. How many Automechanikas are there currently?
Automechanika is actually a very interesting case. So whenever if you ever decide to do an MBA or any kind of business studies or whatever, Automechanika is used a lot of times as a case study, because it's actually the first show and globally probably the most successful show where a trade fair brand was created. A lot of times trade fairs were local or were like specific to one country, and Automechanika was the first time where a real brand management approach was taken and says, look, how can we grow that brand of Automechanika worldwide? And today we have 16 Automechanikas worldwide, from Kuala Lumpur to Birmingham to Johannesburg, in India, in Shanghai, etc., etc. So it is really like a true global brand. What it means, though, is if you take this approach, is that you have to apply brand management philosophies. So that means the standard has to be adhered to. So that means when we do an Automechanika here in Johannesburg, I can't drop the standard. I have to deliver the standard that Automechanika is known for worldwide. I have to make sure the exhibitors are happy so that we have a sustainable show going on, because obviously if I make mistakes here in Johannesburg, it will have a negative effect onto Shanghai, Birmingham, Dubai. So therefore, it comes with, to have that global brand is definitely extremely valuable for us here in Johannesburg, but it also comes with a lot of responsibilities for the organizers to maintain the standard that Automechanika stands for worldwide.
Well, talking about South Africa, the previous Auto Africa show is now part of the Automechanika global footprint. How did this come about?
Well, as I said, there are a lot of avenues that are happening here right now. So actually, the Auto Africa itself developed into the Johannesburg International Motor Show. The Johannesburg International Motor Show was servicing the passenger cars as well as the truck and the bus industry. What happens now is, as you know, the Johannesburg International Motor Show did not take place in 2015. Similar situation, that the car manufacturer said the concept was not right anymore. So we developed the Johannesburg International Motor Show into the Festival of Motoring for the car manufacturers. Subsequently, we now had to find a new platform for the truck companies and the bus companies that prefer much more B2B setup. So therefore, we are now integrating Futuroad as a new truck company into Automechanika in 2017.
Okay, and taking that forward, the next Automechanika Johannesburg will be held in September this year.
Correct.
And from what we've heard, as you've just mentioned, it will not just be Automechanika, but a combination of shows.
Yes.
Can you provide details of this expansion?
Of course. So the one expansion that is happening globally with Automechanika is the addition of REIFEN, which is like targeting tire companies and so on and so forth. This is a global initiative, and you'll see the integration of REIFEN happening in all Automechanikas worldwide. What we do here in South Africa specifically is the one thing that I just mentioned with Futuroad. Futuroad is a new brand that Messe Frankfurt created, and you're going to see a rollout of this brand in other countries now and going forward. Johannesburg is the first Futuroad in this matter, and that is a show designed for truck companies, bus companies, and that's where we as organizers we're gonna bring fleet owners and fleet companies across sub-Saharan Africa to the show to make sure the exhibitors are going to do good business there. On top of that, we're integrating Scalex. Scalex is a logistics show that we integrate here. Again, fits very, very well into the topic. And what's actually happening now, as well as we were also asked to actually like integrate a forecourt show, in order to, because it also fits from a topic perspective also very well. So we're going to integrate this one as well. So it's going to be a massive show. And the nice thing is that all of those shows live off each other or have very positive effects on each other. So you're going to see more people coming to the shows. You're going to see more relevant people coming to the shows because they cross-pollinate each other. And that is the big advantage of this one.
Okay. And then you may have answered this in a small way. The final question, a few years ago, the pundits were predicting the demise of shows.
Right.
And what with the internet and social sites, why did you need to go to a show? But the opposite has happened. And Automechanika just gets bigger and bigger, from Frankfurt to Shanghai to Dubai, across the globe. Yeah. What is driving this growth?
I think it's like one of those like question that is actually much bigger than only looking at it for trade fairs. I mean, when the internet came along and people said, okay, so you don't need, you don't need shops anymore, you don't need interaction anymore because everything is going to be done digitally and nobody really talks to each other anymore. And exactly what we can see now is exactly the opposite happening, is that people actually are searching again for a human-to-human interaction. So you can see that that's why, for example, the Festival of Motoring is working so well, because people like to actually touch and feel the product and actually like to talk to someone who knows a bit about the product. And the same is happening in the trade fair world. Is like the internet is so, the digital world is so massive, it's so complex, it's so vast. So you are actually like searching again for that human-to-human interaction, and that is what the trade show can offer. And it's not only something happening with Automechanika; it's something happening in all the industries, in all the countries that we talk to. Is that you cannot and you will never be able to replace a good handshake, a good conversation, and this human-to-human interaction.
Thank you, Konstantin, and we look forward to September.
Thank you.